So I'm with Phil Playfair from Lowfoot. Thanks so much for being with us today.
You're welcome.
Tell me a little bit about the company and what problem are you guys trying to solve?
Okay, well, we're based out of Toronto, Canada, and we are 100% focused on smart meters and helping resolve the issue of residential demand and demand response, particularly in the area of peak response. So our model is actually to be a little bit like Enernoc for residential customers, where we pay people to reduce usage during peak periods. So we've been rolling out in Ontario, Texas, California. We've got a couple of pilot going up, about to launch in the Netherlands. So things are going pretty well.
So two kind of caveats or
Right.
obstacles or opportunities,
Yes.
so to speak, for your business is really the education of the end user to
Yes.
let them know that they have
Yes.
this opportunity, and then making it really easy for them to actually do so.
Yes.
Walk us through
Sure.
both facets of how you make that happen.
Right. The way we make it simple for them is really, quite frankly, not to explain very much. We really just present them with the data and say, look, if you lower your usage between this time and this time, we'll reward you. And they seem to catch on to that pretty well. And for those who are in areas where they're being billed on time of use, they sort of know what that means. But for the most part, we just say if you don't use between 4 and 7, we're gonna pay you a bit of cash. They get it right away. And we use a lot of similar tools to Facebook, Twitter. We use a feed, so more and more people are used to that kind of interface on the web, and we're rapidly moving to mobile apps as well. So really, we don't expect a lot of mind share from our members. We just want a daily little nudge and say, hey, you're okay, you're under your target, or hey, you're over, something's happened, and then they jump on the site and check out what happened.
Over the last 2 or 3 years, it's been pretty recent, the industry is starting to see companies come up with solutions for trying to educate the residential customer to kind of move,
Yes.
so to speak. Talk to me a little bit about how you're differentiating, how Lowfoot is differentiating itself compared to some of the other competition that's currently in the place.
Right. As you're quite right, there are quite a few players in the market right now, and honestly, we hope there are more because it's a big job to do. But we differentiate ourselves because we only focus on smart meters, and we only are a web and electronic business. We don't print out any letters or mail anything to the customer. We focus on communicating via electronic means, and I think we've done a more interesting way of engaging through Twitter and Facebook than some of our competitors are doing. And I think just the idea of actually associating the cash benefit with a reduction is also very novel. And we're halfway through a patent process, and we're getting very good feedback from the reviewers. So we're definitely on something novel and unique.
Some companies in the space are trying to go after the utility and look at the utility as their customer.
Yes.
Others are looking at the homeowner as the actual end
Yeah.
user and trying to target directly to them. And both strategies have had some successes and some
Yeah.
failures. Talk to me a little bit about the strategy you're taking and why you think that's going to be successful for Lowfoot.
We're doing both strategies. My background is on the utility side. I sold software to the utility sector for about 12 years and successfully exited a number of years ago. But also the data is becoming increasingly available on the marketplace. So we want to be in a position to serve both customers, because utilities can really benefit from this, especially those utilities who buy wholesale power, because anytime you can push usage down during peak periods, it's very profitable for them or efficient for them. At the same time, we don't want to wait for utilities, because sometimes they're very slow to move. So if the data is available, we go after it, and that's we think that approach is working. And recently, we had one utility contact us because they were getting so many calls about Lowfoot. They said, "How can we get you guys in here so we can stop these calls from coming in?" We like those stories.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about crowdsourcing and really including the social component to getting residential customers
Yes.
to become more responsible about energy use. Why is that an important tool that the industry needs to really leverage in order to make it happen?
I think we need all the tools in our arsenal. I think that's one of them, and we've done some interesting experiments on that. We're going to do that out. But I think that the industry it tends to be slow to move, and people are making decisions a lot on what their friends are saying, what they're doing, or what they see, and what's being offered to them. And I think there are a lot of other organizations that could benefit from the need that the utilities have. So getting people out of the house during peak periods, let's talk to businesses that want those people out of the house too. So we can, Lowfoot plans to marry those types of situations together, and we're starting to do it here in Texas, and we think we'll be quite successful at it.
Walk me through the roadmap of the company for the next 6 to 12 months. What can we expect from you guys in the near future?
Yeah, well, I think our big push is to get our Texas customers alive and settled down and get access, getting Lowfoot into people's hands, getting data into their hands. I also think if I raise a bit of money in the next couple of months, that we'll really expand our development team. But we've got a really interesting project going on in the Netherlands, and interestingly enough, the gas smart meter is what's really the differentiator there. And then we're rolling out water smart meters as well. So we'll have the full suite, and so I think we'll focus on development, but I'll be on the road selling. That's what I like to do. I think the concept is good, and my experience with utilities will help us to really, I think, get some market share.
Talk to me a little bit about the role that Surge plays or has played in the growth and development of Lowfoot.
It's been huge. I think Steve and I had formed the company almost 2 years ago, maybe a bit longer than that, and we'd been doing stuff. And getting it rolling, but we were not having the kind of traction we thought, and we'd successfully sold our company, so we weren't probably as focused as we should have been. And then the Surge experience has been tremendous. It's just allowed me to work, what you have to do as an entrepreneur. You have 7 days a week, 17 hours a day, and that kind of focused intensity can really move a project along, and that's certainly what's happened here. And also the contacts that they've provided within the community have been fantastic. So we've been able to leverage our contacts through our advisors, and that's made a huge difference for us to get in front of the right people.
Why are you doing what you're doing, and why have you chosen to spend your time working in the energy sector?
I'm doing it for a couple of reasons, but I think really, I mean, there's a green element to it. I often don't talk about it because it's not in vogue, but it's important to me. But I think there is a natural synchronicity between green and efficiency and profitability. And I think tying those three things together is very good for the environment, but it's also very good for our society, because we're, our countries, from Canada and the United States, we're in a real challenging period where we have to be way more efficient and way more productive. And I think just using our resources much more intelligently is just a sensible thing to do as we try and build out and compete on a global basis.
Thanks a lot for your time today. I really appreciate it. Much continued success in the future, and I look forward to staying in touch.
Great. Thank you very much, Ben. Appreciate it.